Are you curious about what cyber limits are sufficient for your business? Well, you're not alone, so sit tight and let's jump in. Hey folks, I'm Eric Lonsinger with Ford Insurance, and this is a common question when shopping cyber policies, especially since cyber insurance is somewhat of a newer coverage and most people don't have a ton of experience with it. Now, this is somewhat of a loaded question. If you ask any insurance agent what limits you should take, their answer should always be the highest ones available. And no, that's not just so we can sell you more insurance. You see, as insurance agents, we get a front row seat to the worst case scenarios on a regular basis. I mean, everyone thinks it will never happen to me, but the harsh reality is it happens to somebody pretty much every day. But on a practical level, we understand that you aren't working with an unlimited budget. So the question shifts to what balance of price and coverage are you comfortable with and makes sense for your business? Now, let's put price in the parking lot for a second and take a purely objective view on limits. I typically like to look at a business's overall exposure when coming up with initial estimates. For example, I'll usually aim to understand your operation, including things like what's the nature of your environment that could be impacted by a breach? What does your technology infrastructure look like? Is it simple, like just a few laptops, or do you have servers, private networks, and even cloud assets? If taken offline, could your business continue to produce revenue? If not, what type of financial impact are we looking at? The idea here is to understand the potential scope of what a cyber loss could look like. Beyond direct damages to your business, liability is also a big driver in selecting a limit. The short version here is if somebody claims they've experienced a financial loss due to a cyber incident with your business, then a cyber policy will typically pay for your defense and the damages you are legally liable for. Like a slip and fall in your office, these scenarios are hard to predict and the financial costs can vary widely. I've seen claims range from hundreds of dollars to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Worse yet, a single breach can create multiple claims from different affected parties. So it's important to understand the nature and the scope of your operation. Now, getting back to the root of the question, which limits are right for you? Well, it's really the same process with any insurance policy. You want to take an honest look at your business with your agent and assess the risk. A good agent who is well-versed in cyber insurance will have the experience and tools to help you ballpark what a typical claim could look like for your business. And based on that data, you can start to tackle the decision of what risk you want to assume and what risk you want to transfer through buying coverage. In this regard, it really is no different from any other policy you may have. The risk is just different, and unfortunately, it's also poorly understood by many insurance professionals out there. So it really is important to find someone who knows what they're doing. Seriously, don't be afraid to ask tough questions. When working with a prospective agent, ask for their qualifications. Ask if they have any certifications or training. This is your business after all, and you have a right to know who's helping protect it. By now, you've probably realized that I can't just say you need a limit of X dollars, but hopefully I've given some insight into the process of selecting a limit that works for you, and I'll give you a quick example of how we run this process with our clients. One of the very first things we do with anyone interested in a cyber policy is run a risk report. This report helps illustrate how well prepared they are today and what potential cyber losses could look like for their business. During this process, we'll analyze your website, assess known vulnerabilities, look at protection on your email server, and even scan for leaked credentials out on the dark web. The output is a comprehensive assessment scoring your business's security posture along with recommendations on how to improve it. This is accompanied by a financial snapshot of what potential losses could look like and is a great starting point for when considering what limits you need. From there, we'll typically discuss which coverages are important for your business to consider and why, and then price them out at different levels so we can review the options and ultimately make the decision of which coverage works best for your business. I know this process may sound complicated, but we can typically get this done in just a few hours and have quotes out generally the same day. Now, I'm not just telling you this as an advertisement for my agency, but hopefully this helps provide a reference point for your experience as you look to secure coverage. So, well, that does it for today. I want to thank you for watching and invite you to leave any questions or comments below.